My name is Belkis, and now we'll be cutting the sleeve for the fabric we just cut out. So let's get started. So now just get a fabric enough to accommodate the length of your sleeve and also the width, and make sure the right sides are facing each other. You can see the way I folded. So I have my wrong side this way. Then you fold again. After folding it, just draw a straight line. Just draw a straight line this way, and then we insert our calf's height. So calf's height is calculated this way: your bust divided by 12 plus half inch. My bust is 42 divided by 12, 3.5. Then plus half inch, it is 4 inches. Then I'll mark out my 4 inches. This is the curve that enable the arm to swing easily without ripping off the seam. After doing that, then you also mark a straight line. After doing that, I want the length of my sleeve to be 17. It depends. You could have, if you want a shorthand, maybe 7, 10. So I want 17. So then from the straight line here, I'll mark 17, which is this. And then for my seam allowance, I want it to be so wide. So I'll add like 2.5 inch. So 2 inches wideness, and then half inch for folding it in. So from the 17 mark, I'll just add 2.5 inches. 1, 2, then half. And then you draw a straight line. Then draw a straight line. This is my 17th length, and then the seam allowance. After doing that, then we go to how to draft the armhole. So from the previous pattern, just measure from here to here, not from the seam allowance, just from here to here. Remember, my armhole line was 8.5. When I came down by 1 inch, it became 7.5. So from here to here is 7.5 inches. So which I will draft here. And then I got some complaint that after making my curve, one became shorter than the other and all that. To avoid this, that means something is wrong with the way you curve your sleeve line. So what I advise people is that just add half an inch or quarter of an inch, just to avoid that. You could always trim it off. So now let me just do that here. So 7.5, but for me I do 7.5 because I know how to curve it easily. So but for people watching, so just add half an inch to make it 8 inches. So then 1 inch allowance. After doing that, just draw a straight line from the original measurement we made to the edge of the calf's height. After drawing the line, just get the midpoint. So here I have 9. So half of this is 4.5. And then come up by half an inch. So this is my half an inch mark. Then we use the French curve. First, just draw a straight line from here, from the half an inch line to the end of the marking. After doing that, use your French curve to just curve this out. That is for the back armhole. And then from the front armhole, just use this French curve to connect this to join also the edge of the calf sleeve. And that is it for the front armhole. Then you take your French curve again, just from this half inch, then just draw another curve. Then you have something like this, and that is just it on how to curve the armhole. And then for the length, my sleeve opening. What I mean by sleeve opening is the measurement around here, how much I want it to be free. So my measurement is 12. So 12 divided by 2, that is 6. So if you want it to be free, you could add his, but I just want it like that. So 12 inches. So half of it is 6. Just mark it. And then for the seam allowance is 1 inch. And that is it. Then you draw a straight line. Then there's a ruler that is being used to just draw a curve inward, because you don't want to have excesses around here. But I just use free hand because I'm used to it. Just use your free hand to curve it in a little and then bring it out. Let me make it show more. And that is it. That is just how to curve it in, because you don't want excesses around this place. So for easy seam allowance, just measure 1 inch and then continue measuring this way. 1 inch, 1 inch, all the way down, so you won't make any mistake. A ruler to join. So just use your free hand to do this, and that is it. If you notice, I did not measure down to the seam allowance, because when you sew, because if you just cut it straight down here, when you sew, you have the seam allowance, you have it being shortened. So my technique is this: just trim off these excesses. After doing that, just fold this in on the line. Make sure it is in line over here, because you don't want it to be short. After doing that, then cut it out. So when I open this up, can you see you have something like a V? So when you fold it in, it will be the same. It will be in the same line with the other part. So that is just it. Note that. And then we cut out the back armhole before cutting out the front armhole. So after cutting out the back armhole, then open it up. After opening it up, then you cut the front armhole. Make sure you open it up before cutting. And that is it. Can you see the front armhole is deeper than the back armhole? And that is just it on how to cut the sleeve. And then if you measure this, it should be the same with the length of this plus the armhole. If you measure both back and front, and that is just it on how to cut the